Hi, Coach Bly. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, no problem. What's going on?
Just another Monday, living the dream.
I know that's right.
Mike, how about if you get started?
Sure. Hey, Coach. Mike Barber from the Richmond Times-Dispatch in Virginia. You've played at Lane Stadium, obviously. You're there now in a coaching capacity. What is the challenge of playing at that venue?
Well, I actually never played at Lane Stadium. Actually, I went there for the first time 2 years ago when we played there. And but no, it's a great environment. I've always heard great things about it. You know, with all the guys that I played with or grew up with back home, and Keith Brunell and those guys, D Hall. And so that to me, that's one of the best places to play in college football. And actually, when I went there, you know, for the first time in 2019, man, I was fired up, man. It kind of brought chills, you know, down my body, man. But it's definitely a great environment. I know that's a football town, so I know our guys are fired up for the opportunity to go back there and looking forward for the game. We know those guys are gonna be fired up.
It's not unusual, but it got a lot of attention. The video of you guys playing Enter Sandman for part of preseason camp got a lot of attention around here. I know a lot of teams do that. In your experience as a player and coach, does that help focus players? Does it fire them up doing that at practice? Is it background noise? How do you look at that kind of stuff?
Well, coaches do various things, you know, to try to get the guys prepared for the game. And actually, it's a pretty cool song. You know, when I had my travel baseball team and had my youth football team, that was one of my go-to songs. So, you know, like when they started playing a couple of years ago, I was jumping and dancing like it was my song. So now it's a great environment. It was something to get the guys going, but you know, for the most part, man, we know that the stadium is going to be rocking, and we look forward to going to Blacksburg for the game.
Thank you.
Greg, you're up next.
Hey, Dre. Storm Duck has been hampered by injuries for the better part of a year. During that period, how do you go about helping develop a player while he is a little bit banged up? And then kind of where is he at now in terms of the rotation and how he's performed in camp thus far?
I mean, Storm is you know, where he needs to be, man. You know, injuries is a part of the game. And I know that probably better than anybody. You know, I was blessed to not really have any when I played. But, you know, Storm is in, you know, his mind's in a good place. He's working. He's competing with Tony and Kyler and Day Hollins and the rest of the guys, Obi and those guys. They out there working. He's doing tremendously well, man. You know, I look forward to having a healthy Storm Duck, a healthy Tony Grimes, Kyler McMichael, a full and complete secondary for the season opener. And I can't wait to see what those guys look like when we suit up.
During the offseason when he was injured, though, development-wise, is that just getting in the film room and working through those kind of things that take place off the field?
Well, I feel like, you know, Storm played a lot of football his first year. And to see the transition from him as a freshman to last year when he got injured, because I feel like last year when he got injured, there wasn't a better cornerback in the ACC in my eyes. You know, he was playing really, really well. And to us, you know, he was a guy that we felt like to take away a side of a field. And so, but that didn't come because of his skill set. That came because of where he was mentally and the knowledge that he had gained through being a starter as you know, his first year. So he didn't lose that. And matter of fact, it might have got even better because during the time when he didn't play, you know, he was in every meeting. You know, he was getting better every day mentally as well. So right now, man, Storm, you know, he was here in the spring and participated and he picked up right where he left off, man. And so I expect Storm to do what he did and be the same guy he was before he went away with injury. But I'm excited to have him with the rest of the guys. Like I said, I feel like where I am right now at that position, I'm a lucky coach.
Thank you.
Michael, go ahead, please.
Hi, Coach. How do you balance, obviously you have a lot of responsibilities within the football program, but how do you balance recruiting on the front lines and also coaching the kids in the program?
Recruiting on the front lines and then coaching my kids. I mean,
yeah. Just like, how do you balance that? What's the work balance like?
Well, with me, I mean, as you know, or I don't know if you know, but most people know I'm a social butterfly. So that's not a secret. I like to talk. I'm constantly on the phone. So that's been part of my everyday life ever since I've retired, right? And so, but then on top of that, just trying to find time. My family's in Charlotte, so I got all day, man. Like I have no place to be when I leave work. If my nephew needs me or if a kid needs me to ask a question, I'm always available. So, this is my world. I've been a football player my whole life. I love the game. I love mentoring kids. I love giving back. I love helping kids have a chance to do what I did. So to me, there's nothing to balance. I'm just being me, and that's loving what I do.
And what is it like to go back to the area where you were from? Obviously, where kids like Tony are from now. What is it like to go back to that area and recruit in that area?
I mean, I said it before. It's like I'm living in a dream. Having a chance to go back to the streets where I was raised to help mentor and help give an opportunity to the kids that travel the same streets I traveled that was given to me. And so I'm living a dream. And then I get a chance to go home and see my mom and dad. Don't need to stay in a hotel. I can see my family. I told you my mom is one of 13. So I got like 155 cousins, first cousins, living in the 7-5. So I'm always welcome when I come home. I'm always having fun. There's no place I can't go in the 7-5 and not know anyone. So it's definitely it's a pretty good feeling to go home.
Thank you.
Thanks. Andrew, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, what couple of areas has Tony's game grown the most since last season ended?
Man, Tony, I just say technique wise. Last year I think he, and this is how I was my first year. And I told my guys this as well, even the first year when I intercepted all those balls when I was here, I didn't specifically have the technique down that Coach Case wanted us to play, my defensive back coach. I didn't really get good to the second year. The same thing with Storm. Storm had a great, he had an outstanding first year, but the progression that he made in the spring leading up to the season of last year and the growth that he had even at doing fall camp or doing summer camp last summer, it was tremendous strides. And so I told Tony, right, he's nowhere near the finished product is far, far away. And to see the growth that he's made from last year to now, him being more comfortable in his technique, him being, understanding routes, it's pretty cool to see. The same thing with Colin McMichael, to see the growth that he's made over a year or two. The same thing with Day, man. It's pretty cool to see. And that's what it is every year. I expect our guys to get smarter, every day, learn something every day where they can apply it on game day. And that's how I was as a player. I got better my second year, even though statistically, I didn't have the numbers my second year here at Carolina. Mentally, technique wise, I was so much more better. And that's what I expect with our guys here. That's what I've seen with Tony. And that's what I expect with the rest of the guys as they get older.
With Tony, given that he's got a very, very high ceiling, what is unique about his potential that maybe a lot of other guys that play corner don't have?
Well, just his love for the game, man, and how competitive he is, how great he want to be. And that was one of the things I told him when he got here, right? Because obviously he was a high recruited guy, but to me, to be a high recruited guy and don't meet the obligations of that status, to me, it isn't cool at all. So I was telling them, what comes with being a 5-star is XYZ. And these are the things that you need to do consistently for you to make sure that you sustain who you are. And the thing with that is, I don't know if that was something that he didn't know, but it was something that he wanted to embrace. And he's embraced every inch of it. Right now he's out here working extra right now. And that's the thing that I think that separates him from some of the other guys across college football is his desire to be great. Everybody, knows how he was the first one to the meetings last year, right? He was the last one to leave. He's constantly on the 4th floor asking questions and wanted to know ball. And so I think that's what separates him from some of the other guys in college football.
Cool. Thank you. Appreciate that.
CL, go ahead.
Hey, Dre, I was curious in what ways does Tony remind you of a young Dre Bly?
Well, I would say this. He definitely talks a lot, right? So that's definitely something that he remind myself of. And it's the other thing. Like I do feel like us from where I'm from, we're very confident, right? And we very, very competitive. And it shows, more so in us than anything else. And so that's what I would say that's very similar. He's very expressive. He loved to compete. And it shows. And that's what I did. Shoot, I compete now. I mean, if you call me out right now, see, and ask me to go out there and run some routes, and you tell me I can't cover you, boy, you'll blow my mind. I get out there and put them things on you. So that's the way I'm wired. But I just think that's how he remind me of myself. We compete. We always think we're gonna win. And he always want to know more. And so that's what I love about Tony. He I don't care what he's accomplished, what he's done. He's not afraid to ask questions. He's not a know-it-all type of dude, and he want to know more. And I love that about him.
And you mentioned earlier about Storm being kind of well before his injury being shut down, kind of take away a side of the field corner. How do you assess when somebody has gotten to that point? Like, what are the things you look for to let you know, okay, yeah, this guy is ready to be isolated out there and I don't have to worry about him?
Well, it's an air that you have when you're out in the field. I mean, we play the toughest position in football. Like, it's the only position I feel like when you do good, people see it. When you do bad, everybody sees it, right? They see more bad than you see good. You know what I'm saying? And that's because we singled out on the island. But when you get to a level, man, and when you everything you doing works, right? And you just so confident, man, and you nasty with it. It just shows, and the ball finds you. And that was one of the things, like when I was playing, I tell guys my first year, I had 13 picks, right? And they didn't necessarily throw the ball my way all the time because the dude on the other side, we just were good all across the board, right? But I told you, like, I felt like I was Kobe Bryant when he scored 81 points. Like, when you rolling, the ball find you. And Storm last year, before he got injured, I feel like he was in one of those type of zones where he was playing that type of ball. And you can see it throughout his personality, his demeanor. His players saw it. His teammates, they were aware. And so that's what it was, man. And so we were excited last year, and I'm even more excited to have him back now.
Thanks, Coach.
Ross, go ahead.
All right, a couple of things, Coach Bly. First, you abbreviate the 757 by 75. What's that about? Is it too long to say 3 letters?
Yeah, I mean, everybody got nicknames, and the younger generation, they quick to abbreviate stuff, and so that's, after a while, we've been saying 757 for so long. Now they saying 75. So that's, I guess I done picked it up myself, and I'm, I try to pick up on all the little lingo that the guys be saying, all the little dances that they do, and to try to stay youthful with the guys, man. But that's sort of like the abbreviation of 757 to 75.
Got it. And y'all have a lot of talent at cornerback. When you listed them, Storm, Kyler, Day, Tony. How do you expect to kind of get them all the reps they deserve in a game where, you only play 2 or 3 corners? How do you see that kind of going? What do you expect? What's the strategy there? Because all those guys are good enough to play, I imagine.
Well, this is the thing. Like, every year since I've been here, the guys that we've started with, we didn't finish with, right? And so just make sure you got every guy's ready, right? And I'm never going to have an issue in my eyes. I do a good job of managing my guys and having a good relationship with my players. And the guys trust me. And I'm one of those guys, I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm very honest. I try to give them a complete picture on what's what and what the plan is. And, with me playing as long as I played and me going through some of the things that I went through when I played, I can have conversation with guys. And guys, at the end of the day, if you're honest with players and let them know what it is, they'll go a long way with you. And so, but I make it aware, right? And I think because of the way we're recruiting, the way I'm recruiting, and how our players are getting developed, and what they're able to do in Jay Bateman's defense, I'm gonna have to play guys, because I'm gonna have good football players. And so, and I've made that aware, right? And then, you know, playing 80 snaps a game for what we do, playing 80 snaps, that's a lot of running, man. And that, you know, during my time, we were playing 60 snaps. And so the football game has come to be no huddle, no run and shoot, right? So I think our guys are aware that they're gonna need breathers, and my guys aren't selfish. You know, my guys aren't gonna be selfish at all. We all team guys, and I would not have issues managing my players.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Gregory?
Dre, Coach Bateman last week or so said that he thinks Giovanni might be the most improved player in the entire program. I was just curious your thoughts on him and his development.
I have to agree, man. You know, the dude has worked tremendously hard from the first day that he arrived, and he was a guy that, you know, I think was struggling with the defense when we first got here, as I was, you know, just learning the terminology and the words and the lingo and picking it up at the speed that we were trying to pick it up. It was tough. And just to see the growth that he's made, because, you know, the safeties in our defense are like the quarterbacks. They make all the calls, make all the checks. And just to see the strides that he's been able to make in 2 years has been a miracle. And it's the thing, what I tell guys in recruiting, you know, in this game, everybody's journey is different. And, you know, you can't expect to have the same experience that I had or that, you know, Brian Simmons had when he played. You know, everybody's journey is different. And so just understand the progression and the process, and but give yourself a chance to be successful, which comes with training and educating yourself and studying. And if you do that, you give yourself a chance to maximize your full potential. And Gio has done it to the fullest. And it's really a joy to see him be rewarded for the hard work that he's put in. But Gio is a great football player. He's a guy that can get everyone lined up on the field. He knows what everybody is doing. When you got somebody back like that in your defense, just like Jeremiah Gemmel, as a coach, you feel pretty good.
Great. Thank you.
All right, do we have anything else for Coach Bly? I think we're good. Thanks so much, everybody.
Yes, ma'am. You guys have a blessed evening.